A few lessons ago, we briefly discussed the immediate window, which is located at the bottom of our VBE. The immediate window is a really helpful tool whenever we want to test, for example, a single line of VBA code without actually packaging it within a procedure. The immediate window is sort of like a console. It's a playground. It's a place to make experiments with code because the process of creating a brand new module and writing a procedure is kind of time consuming. There's a lot of clicks involved, and if we only want to test that one line of code works as expected, we really don't need to go through that hassle. We can just use the immediate window as a little bit of a playground to try out something. So it's not intended for large scale procedures. It's really intended for 1 or 2 lines of code at a time, just to make sure that everything is functioning as expected. If the immediate window is missing from your Visual Basic Editor interface, for example, if it looks something like this, there's 2 ways we can bring it up. The first is using the keyboard shortcut Control+G. That will bring up the immediate window. I'm also going to click out of it and show you the other way to access it. That's going to be under the View menu at the very top. View, here we have immediate window listed alongside its keyboard shortcut. That's going to bring up the immediate window at the very bottom. Again, all of these tools, all of these aspects of the Visual Basic Editor are dockable. We made that happen in our settings configuration lesson, so we can actually move this around and place it on the left or on the right, but this is the traditional setup where we're going to have the immediate window at the bottom, and then the properties window at the bottom left, and the Project Explorer at the top left. In the immediate window, we can write completely valid VBA code. So we can access properties in here, we can execute methods, we can ask VBA to perform basic mathematical calculations. Everything is valid here. Just remember to keep it concise, one line of code at a time. So for example, let's say we want to try a basic mathematical expression. In that case, whenever we're asking VBA to answer some kind of question for us, whenever it needs to evaluate some kind of expression, we need to begin with a question mark. You can think of a question mark just like asking a real-life question. If this is something that you might go over to your coworker and ask, then it requires a question mark in the immediate window. So for example, if I want to know the answer to 2 plus 2, because I'm asking a question, I do need to prefix that expression with the question mark. When I execute this, I'm going to get the correct answer, which is 4. So whenever we're getting something like a property value, we are getting something, which means we're asking a question as well. So in those situations, we also have to include the question mark. For example, let's say I put a value here in cell A1. I'm just going to put my name, Boris. Let's say I want to find out the value that's currently in cell A1 from the immediate window. I once again have to begin with a question mark. I'm asking a question. I'm not performing some kind of process or action or method. I'm just inquiring about the state of something. So I can put my syntax here of accessing a range. Here in a string, I put the range or the cell that I want to access. That's cell A1. We know that a range object has a value property. If we're not setting it, we're getting it. So now when I execute this, we can see it's giving back to us the value that's written on the spreadsheet, which is Boris. If we're going to set the value of a property of an object or invoke a method, anytime that we're doing something that represents an action that we take, in that case, we do not need to use the question mark because we're not asking a question. We're telling VBA to do something. So setting a value on a property does not require the question mark. So if I wanted to set range A1 to have a different value, I can do range A1 dot value. Again, completely valid VBA code. This would work just fine in a procedure, but if we want to do something very simple like this, we can just use the immediate window. Let's say I want to set it equal to hello. Write this, execute this. We can see on the left side that hello has now occupied cell A1, and you can see we've used the immediate window to execute a valid line of VBA code. The important part here, if this isn't obvious, is that all of this is temporary. The immediate window is not preserved when we close the workbook. So this is just to execute a one-line piece of code. If we want to preserve an operation so that we can run it again and again, we do need to write it within a procedure. I also want to point out that there is an alternative way that you can use the question mark here in the immediate window. I'm just going to erase my work right here. Instead of using the question mark, you can use a keyword called print. And print is the exact same thing as a question mark. So if I did something like print 2 plus 3, we're going to get the exact same result. Most people prefer to use the question mark because it's a little bit lighter and shorter. It's only one character, but print does the exact same thing. We can also print to the immediate window from an actual procedure body. This is really helpful when we want to keep track of something as it's going on in our procedure. As we're executing, we may want to find out what the current value is that's being stored, let's say in a variable, which we'll talk about in a few lessons. Sometimes we want to keep track of data that is changing throughout the process of our procedure execution. So we can actually log things to the immediate window from a procedure body. Let's go ahead and create a brand new module to store our procedure. So insert a new module. The default module name of module 1 is fine for now. And I'm going to create a procedure here, again with a sub keyword, print stuff to console. Once again, we have to add on that pair of parentheses at the end. The Visual Basic Editor will automatically add end sub for us, but you do have to remember those keywords in case it doesn't. And right here, in order to actually print something to the immediate window, we have to do this, debug.print. Debug is actually an object that's available within VBA, and print is a method on that object. Just like we have valid objects like worksheet and workbook, we have a debug object. It has two methods on it. The one that we want to focus on right now is print. And in order to actually print something, we just write it to the right of that method invocation. So for example, if I want to find out what 1 plus 1 is, I'm just going to remove this code right now. Now this is our first experience actually executing a procedure with custom code within it. When I execute this, there's nothing that's going to happen on the Excel interface, but we are going to take the evaluation of this expression, which is going to be 2, and with debug.print, we're going to print it to the immediate window. So let's execute this right here by clicking the green play or run button, and there we can see 2 is output. This is really helpful when you want to, for example, do something on the spreadsheet and then also keep track of something as a developer here in the Visual Basic Editor. We can sort of keep track of those variables in the immediate window to see how they evolve over the course of a procedure. For example, what we can do here is change the value within our range of A1. So for example, what I can do is output the current value of range A1. So I'm just going to do range A1.value. So I'm going to get the value at the very start of the procedure and output it to the immediate window. Below that, I'm going to actually change the value. Let's change it now to goodbye, another string. And after that, let's go ahead and debug print the value in range A1 again, so we can sort of confirm that it's changed from our code. In fact, let me buy a little bit of real estate here so you can actually see this code a little bit clearer. There we go. I'm also going to remove all the code from the immediate window so we don't get confused. So once again, let's just go through this line by line. We've created a new procedure with a sub keyword. It's called print stuff to console. It actually does a little bit more than that, but that's fine. We begin by getting the current value in range A1. This is just getting the value property of that object. Pretty familiar syntax, but we cannot use the question mark within a procedure. We can only use that in our immediate window. So in order to actually log this to the immediate window, we use debug.print. After that, we're going to write a value to cell A1, a brand new value of goodbye. Once that's written, we're going to once again use debug print to log something out to the immediate window, and it's going to be the new value that's stored in range A1. So let's see what happens. We begin here with hello. When we click run here, perfect. We have goodbye right here on the left side. That's actually the second step of our procedure. But right here, hello is printing. That's this line right here. Then we're changing the content on our spreadsheet. And finally, this goodbye that we see at the bottom is this debug print invocation right here. That's all there is to cover in this lesson. We talked about the question mark. We talked about the immediate window, which is a playground of sorts where we can execute one-liners of code. And we also talked about debug print within a procedure body, which allows us to log stuff out to that immediate window, to that console within a procedure.